Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your film live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your TV show, sitcom, and showcase and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are exciting times that we're in. Traditional TV is but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is on the Roku platform. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It has a viewership of 53 million and counting. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and showcasing your movie or show, or interested in coming in as a sponsor or advertiser, please send us your contact information with a brief description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you. Hi, my name is Lauren.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
man. What they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of Talk Show Kings. I'm your host today, King Eric, and to my left,
King Jason.
And together,
we are
the
Talk Show Kings.
All right. So first off, I want to thank the city of Douglasville for allowing us to come into their homes, into their city, and have our talk show. And also, I want to thank our producer, Felix Washington, for putting this show together. Now, we have a couple of interesting topics for you today that we're going to be going through. The first one will probably be the red versus blue, and then we're going to probably hit the DC and Trump fiasco. And the last one we'll probably take on is Dr. Umar. Is he a scam or is he for real? Well, first off, King Jason, how was your week?
It was all right, man. No complaints. Just glad it's the weekend, but got to get ready to start tomorrow.
All right. Well, let's move right on into our first topic. Is red starving blue? Meaning territory and power. So there's been this thing going on with the Republicans, and I think it's in Texas.
Texas and D.C.
Texas and D.C.
Oh, yes.
Regarding the layout with the maps and how they're redistricting everything. And so with them doing that redistricting, let me make sure I'm getting this correct. Republicans are accused of starving the Democrats out by smothering their territory. Now, what does that actually look like? The maps are being redrawn, and state legislators are overriding blue cities, voting rules, example as voting rules, and with budgets. Now, what do you think about that, King Jason?
Honestly, it's just complete gerrymandering. You know, I've been thinking about it while researching on the topic. It really just sounds like they are trying to find ways to get rid of the Democratic Party and just have one party.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And now, before we move on, let me just say one thing.
Let's go.
Now, the things that we discuss here, these are just our opinions and how we feel about them. Because a lot of people have opinions and a lot of people want to share those opinions. And if you want to share your opinion on these topics, you can call us at 770-485-7724. And you can also watch us on TV 1061 on Roku and on YouTube, TV 1061. Now, again, you can more than welcome to call in and give us your opinion and your feedback on these topics as well. Now, moving on. Now, it's saying that it also has to do with institutional control, meaning that it's not just the Supreme Court, but local and state judicial appointments are being made for all of this.
And also include how it will affect the Senate, the U.S. Senate, and the U.S. Congress as well. So by redistricting those areas, for example, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, she has been a major topic during this battle because her district is in the process of being pretty much permanently removed. So now she's been battling, trying to fight for her district to stop it. But you know, like I said, this is just pretty much sounding like you are trying to kill off the Democratic Party, because if it works for Texas, guarantee you it's going to start becoming a ripple effect with other states as well.
Now, I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that when we touch on our next topic after this. But do you think that the Democrats are being soft?
Too soft. And the reason I say they're too soft is because if you watch how they respond and react to their counterparts, which is the Republican Party, they don't do nothing. they just sit back, try to be politically correct, saying, "Oh, this is not how you're supposed to run. You're supposed to follow the process of boom, 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 instead of the way you want to do it. That's not how. That's not how the forefathers, ran the country. Then no, it's a different ballgame."
Yeah, and I can agree with that, because if we see that the person we have in office right now, he don't care anything about the Constitution. So why are you trying to fight the Constitution with someone who don't care anything about the Constitution, and they have billionaires who are backing him in everything that he does, and he has a whole bunch of yes men and women that's scared of him because they don't want to be fired.
I think it's deeper than being fired. I think, to this day, I'm not for sure if anyone else has the same thought as I do, but I think Trump has a lot of stuff that he can blackmail people on to what makes them really scared.
And I believe that a lot of that, not just that. And I believe that, well, the question I have is why now? Why is it all of us? Why do the redistricting at this point? Why now?
If you kind of go backtracking maybe some years ago, when Texas was taking ownership, I call it ownership, I forgot the actual term, but they took ownership of kicking illegal immigrants out of Texas. They didn't go through the U.S. Congress. They just went completely doing it themselves. You remember that story when they did that? And they put up spike fence and all that stuff?
Vaguely, I remember it.
So the Texas governor, he took ownership. He took charge of that. He was like, no, this is my state. I'm not going through the U.S. Congress to get approval to do such and such. If they're not going to send, National Guards down here to help out, or they're not going to hire more Border Patrol officers, instead of that, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah. So in that case, then why is the federal government getting involved at this point? That's what I want to know. Why now? I believe it, even like I say, when I get into the next topic, I'll share my thoughts and my opinions on the reason why, but I want to know what are your thoughts?
I think it's because they have full support with the Republican Party. You got to remember also the Republican Party also has the Grand Old Party. So, the Republicans Party, they have, I think, about 3 different parties inside of one, and how they're starting to align with one another with the same agreement, same plans, same intentions. All they're trying to do is strengthen white supremacy. Okay,
so let's just say they're trying to strengthen white supremacy. With some of the things that they're doing, I think they're only strengthening the billionaire elite, because taking away Medicaid, that has nothing to do. That affects everybody. That affects
True.
everybody. Taking away Social Security, that affects everybody except for who?
Except the rich.
Exactly. So,
yep.
Sometimes I think about, well, maybe the ones who voted for our current president, this is what you get because you thought it was going to be sugar, and you found out that it really ain't. Mm-hmm. You really found out that mm-hmm. fat meat is greasy.
Yep.
So, and when people were trying to tell you, I mean, it goes back to when people was crying about how the government shut off the funding to mm-hmm. the farmers, but they don't want to blame the person who's in office. They just want to say, oh, it's the federal government that did it. Okay, but no, it wasn't the federal government that did it. It was a particular person. Say his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you kind of reminded me when you talked about cutting funding off of farmers. It wasn't just all farmers that they were cutting the money off. They was cutting the money off of black farmers. The white farmers were getting their money. They was making sure they was getting their big chunk of the pie.
Some of the whites wasn't getting theirs as well.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the whites in Ohio and in Wisconsin, oh no, they wasn't getting their money either now.
Wow.
So it was affecting all the farmers because those farmers that had just recently signed those contracts, and they had recently signed those federal contracts, they weren't getting their money. Those were the ones
that I never heard about
Yeah.
because what I've been reading up on and watching is that the white farmers never had a problem. Only problem they had was that the government was giving money to black farmers. That's what I've been hearing and reading about. But hey, they always say learn something new every day.
Now, with this redistricting, I've read a lot about how one of the biggest reasons for it was to cut the blue voting rights, to lower their voting, their voting maps or whatever you want to call it.
I think it's voting districts. Voting district, I think. And that reminds me because our current governor, when he was Secretary of State, he did something similar in black voting districts. He closed voting polls down to where it was causing voters to go miles away from their home to go to the nearest voting. And then also there was another issue where when he was Secretary of State, he they called it, he pretty much wiped away people voting registrations based off saying you have not voted in a certain amount of years, and they just removed it completely. So when they found out about it, when they was going to vote, and they had everything in hand, ID and all that stuff, and they said you're not registered to vote.
So let's just say this was happening here in Georgia. Let's just use that for example. Let's just take a high Democrat county like DeKalb County. Let's just go to DeKalb County. So if they from my understanding, if they redistrict DeKalb County and smothered the heavy blue areas, that would wipe out almost 30 to 40% of the black vote or the Democratic. Well, let's just say the black vote, period. That would wipe out all that black vote in DeKalb County.
I will say, DeKalb County is a great example, but I would use Fulton County better.
I didn't want to use Fulton County because Fulton County is, you can go from Alpharetta on down to.
But see, Fulton County, and there's I could be wrong on numbers, but Fulton County is heavy on black voters. So there was coverage about, because actually the heart of Georgia is blue. Because they showed it on the map one year on the election terms, where they showed the state of Georgia where majority, well, not just a majority, but where all the political parties are located and everything. And they literally showed just the heart of Georgia is blue. Everything else is red. But that blue has a heavy population that really matters to elections. Because now, not only that, now they're scared that Georgia may become a purple state. Because it's starting to kind of, I guess, balance out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of control.
And they don't want that. They don't want it. They want majority. They want the power. So by doing that, you want to take away people's voting rights. You would do whatever you can to take away voting rights.
Speaking of control, that's all it is, just control. Because with that, you're able to get the supporters, and that's the reason why I say why is the federal government doing it right now at this moment? Think about the education bans that he wants to put in place. Think about all the things all these executive orders that he wants to impose, and the ones he hasn't imposed yet. Think about those. Do you think this good politics, or they just playing a better game of chess?
I'm gonna say chess. The reason I'm saying it's chess is because I think it's something deeper than what we even know about. I think they have something already planned that they're not going to release or let anybody know until they have that right move.
And that's the part that I was going to get into.
Yep.
So let's move on to the next topic, which dwindles into this control aspect. Trump, D.C., National Guard, police officers everywhere. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's trying to bring back segregation. And the reason I say that, let's kind of backtrack. Maybe last week or a couple weeks back, there was a big issue with farmers not making money because how they, deported illegal immigrants back to where they came from, and now farmers don't have employees or cheap labor employees to take care of their farms, and now they're losing revenue. Trump stated, he was like, oh, I thought we would be able to have, how did he say it? Have those people come back since they don't have jobs. We laid them off, let them go. They come back and just go straight to work in the farm. It's worded differently. That's the way I'm kind of saying it. So you are kind of being nice or wanted to be nice to say, hey, voluntarily come work on the farm. You just got laid off. You don't have no job. You need to make money. Come back, work on the farm. Well, that didn't work out as planned because he started talking about, saying how, oh, these people, their backs are strong. They're built for that kind of work to work in the land. White people? No, we're not. Our back's not like them. We can't work in the field like them. It was meant for them. They were born like that. I was like, what? Now, I'm not saying it word for word, but that's what I remember. I was like, you got to be joking. It was the audio recording of playing out. He was calling, I was talking to, I think it was Fox News, which is his favorite station, of course, And I'm sitting there like, you really saying that for real? But anyways, to answer your question, I really think they are trying to bring back segregation. And by doing that, if they get to that stage first, then next you could bring back slavery.
That was going to be my next point. So think about this. All these prisons are being built. They get rid of all of the illegal immigrants. Nobody to work on the farms. Lay off people. People lose all their jobs. 9 times out of 10, in the minority neighborhoods, what normally happens when stuff like that happens? Robbing, killing. Now you're going to prison. 13th Amendment kicks in. They got the free labor. There's your workers for your farms.
You remember when we were like in grade school, high school, and we was in history class, how they talked about saying when slavery was done, which is the, was it the 1619? I think it was. Anyways, when slavery was over and Lincoln freed the slaves, and once it got to the South, and once they found out that slavery was no longer existing, they went off, they did their own thing. Well, at that time, the white colonizers, they was like, well, how can we get them back in our ownership, even though slavery's over? So what they did, they started arresting them, put them in prison. Mm-hmm. So, our parents always say history repeats itself, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. You lay off all the blacks. They can't find no work. Blacks going to start committing crimes because you got to find some way to survive. Arrest them for petty crimes. And once they're arrested for those petty crimes, you're going to get charged wahoo amount of time in prison. No parole. Send you right straight to that farm. Back to your old slavery time.
That's it. That's how they do it. Now, with that being said, we know that D.C. is not technically a state. It's just a district.
Correct.
Even though the citizens of D.C., they pay their taxes, they pay their federal taxes, but they don't have no type of representation like a state like Maryland, where the mayor of Maryland, not the mayor, but the governor of Maryland said, he came out and he said, I don't care what you do, I'm in charge of the National Guard for this state, and I'm not mobilizing any one of those National Guard troops for anything that you ask for.
If I'm correct, I think DC only has a mayor.
That's it.
And I've been ignoring the news because it's been driving me nuts hearing about all this bickering, but I've been still doing some small reading and watching other stuff about it. But since DC is its own district, no governor, just a mayor, the president can do whatever he wants, but they say he's supposed to get Congress approval first. But don't forget, DC is majority black. It's majority black.
Exactly. But again, they don't have any representation.
No, they don't. Because remember some years ago, and I'm not for sure if you guys are aware about this audience, but years ago, there were some Congress representatives, both U.S. representatives and Senate, were trying to find ways to include, I think, 1 or 2 Congress members to represent D.C. And guess who was against it? Republicans. They was like, no, you're not going to risk my seat to add such and such. And that's the same thing with Puerto Rico. They don't want to make Puerto Rico a U.S. state because they're going to be forced to add additional seats for Congress, for U.S. reps, and for Senate.
And it's funny that you said that because that was my next talking point that I was just getting ready to say. If D.C. became a state tomorrow, it would shift national politics overnight. Do you think that's why Trump and a lot of the Republicans are dead set against it?
Partial, because I haven't heard anything in a while if they're still trying to add seats for Congress, for U.S. Congress or not. I haven't heard. And I wouldn't be shocked if they aren't or have not, but still talking about it. But once again, because it's majority blacks,
it will shift.
It will change drastically. And they don't want that because they don't want us to have any type of power when it comes to voting. They don't. That's why I was mentioning about how our current governor, in my opinion, that's what his intentions were. He knows that there are a high population, maybe not a high, but a nice population of retirees who are African Americans that are still voting or still registered to vote. They may not vote all the time, but they're still registered. And he was like, well, if I revoke their registration, that's less numbers to be counted for.
Yeah, that's true. But getting back to the chess game that's being played, I believe that all of it ties in. And I say that because if you look at this, you redistrict, and it ties in for Trump. If you redistrict everything, all of the states, you just do a redistricting and make the red areas more powerful by taking over the blue areas. You make that more powerful. You out here, you are basically holding yourself up, building all of these protections around the White House in the D.C. area with the National Guard and all the extra forces that's around. Who does that? Think about it. Who does that? A king. He bears himself.
I'm gonna remind you of something. I was trying to figure out how to say it, but you remember when Trump said he's gonna be the last president?
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting to. He said he was going to be the last president. So
yes,
the only way for him to be the last president, the only way for him to do this,
Mm-hmm.
he has to make stuff happen now because in 4 more years, we got another election.
Yep.
And if he surround himself with all of this stuff and put all these things in place right now, he will not leave office.
Nope.
And no one will be able to stop him from leaving office.
That's why they are trying to get rid of the Democratic Party.
All
Texas
of that ties in.
Yep, Texas is the testing state. If it works for Texas, all the other states, well, not all other states, all Republican states are going to do the same exact thing.
Yes. And again, audience, please understand, these are just our opinions. This is just what we think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. I may be wrong. I'm not for sure. I may be right. I may be wrong. But the way it's going, I've read a lot of books, and mostly kings, this is how they do it. They surround themselves by people that are going to protect them for when things go down, or when things, even when they've done bad things, they protect themselves. And look back in history and with all the different kings that have been even in England, when they do things, they're protected, so can't nobody get to them unless there's a traitor on the inside. Other than that, I mean, that's how that goes. But
and then if you also think about it too, and how can I rephrase this? The reason he's moving so fast, and I'm not going wood, and I'm not saying I like the guy. He's doing it so fast because he knows his health condition is not good. So if he gets this done before it's too late, before his term is up, once he's gone, the next person is going to be the next king. But who is that king is going to be? Is it going to be one of his sons? Is it going to be the VP, which is going to end up being the next king or whatever? I mean, we don't know. But if he gets all of this in control, and the way he, his plans are, or how his partners kind of want it to go, because you got to remember, the first 6 months, he laid out a nice good amount from that book, Project 2025? All in 6 months. And now it is right now August, the middle of August.
Right.
And some of the stuff that he did starts in January.
Now, with that question of leadership and the trust and power, it brings us to our next topic. But we're going to talk about that when we come back from our commercial break. And we'll be talking about Dr. Umar. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Let us go pay some bills, and we will be returning.
Hi, I'm Michael Kyle, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay
violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world exposes our...
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're going to do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're going to bridge that gap because we're going to get out of here. We're going to shake hands. We're going to find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with. and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here today.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
Welcome back to the rest of our episode of Talk Show Kings. Again, please call in if you want to be a part of our conversations today. If you have any feedback or anything you want to talk about regarding these topics, you're more than free to call in. You can call at the number 770-485-7724. Also, if you want to donate and give to the cause of this program, we have a Cash App. It's $TV 1061. That's $TV 1061. All right. King Jason, let's get into our last topic for the day.
Let's do it.
Dr. Umar.
Oh, Lord.
Is he a scam or is he for real? So, first off, audience, if you don't know who Dr. Umar is, he has been proposing building a school, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, for the past 15 years. Now, in this past 15 years, I would even say LeBron James has came into the NBA. This is his, 22nd season in the NBA, and he has a school. It didn't take him 15 years to build a school. But it didn't take Oprah Winfrey 15 years to build a school in Africa. But why is it taking you 15 years to build a school that supposed to be helping, but we haven't seen, only thing we've seen is a door? A red, black, and green, or whatever color door?
Just the front entrance. Now, some people did say they've actually been on a tour, but no videos.
I wonder how big that tour is, because, I mean, if you've been asking for money and you're still constantly asking for money to build this school, you could have built, in 15 years, you could have built 15 schools.
True. I agree.
Even if it wasn't elementary schools, you could have built 15 elementary schools.
I agree. My biggest question I've always wondered, did you actually raise the amount of money that you needed? And did you actually get support from our black and brown community? Because, he's pro-black, if that's the right word I want to say. He's pro-black. And I've seen a lot of his interviews on social media. I've seen some interviews on a few podcasts. I even seen an old interview back on TV One on the old Roland Martin news show. I don't remember if he talked about the school at that time, but he always bragged about his PhD, how he was a school therapist, I think, or school principal or something. I don't remember.
Well, that I don't remember what he was. But we, in the black community, we already have a lot of distrust in people anyway. And how can you sit here and be pro-black, say that you love your black people, say that you love the black community, but if you're getting the funds that you say that you've gotten from the community, where is the proof of this school? Why haven't you opened this school up? I just want to see the school. I used to follow him a lot. I used to follow him a lot on Instagram. I did. But then it just got old. He kept saying the same things over and over and over again, but he never produced anything.
And that makes me kind of question, did we as African Americans, did we actually play our part by supporting his vision and actually donated money? Now, some people have said they've actually donated money to him, but the question is, how much did he raise? He never stated how much he actually raised.
Now, if he hasn't raised the money, that's one thing. That's one thing. Come out and say, look, I don't have the funds, I didn't raise the money. But if people are saying that you, now I don't know how true it is, but if people are saying that you raised over $15 million, there should be a school somewhere.
I agree.
There should be a school somewhere.
I mean, even if he raised $1 to $2 million, that is enough to at least pay for the governmental pieces. You know, just to get your license for the school, just to get your permit, just to get, you know, some of the taxes paid off, you know, and to even find a construction company to do all the work for you. Now, hold that thought.
I was going to say, I can't say that. I mean, because $1 million, that'll probably get him his licenses. That's about it. So he had to have, for him to even have a door, let's just put it that way. For him to even have a door, you had to you got to have a significant amount of money in order to get the licenses just to have the door. But if you're saying that you have $15 million, if there are talks of you having $15 million in donations, then there should be a school, because there are colleges being built on a budget, just a budget alone of $15 million. A college. It may only be one building, but guess what? That $15 million on that one building, that is significant just for that one building. And it may only have 12 classrooms 12 classrooms on each floor. But still, that is a significant amount of money. So either one, you're lying, or two, you've taken the money and done something else that you know.
Con artist.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and when you mentioned about he bragged about $15 million, you know, he even bragged about, well, I don't say bragged about, when he was interviewed on The Breakfast Club and other shows, how he personally stated some celebrity names looking or asking for their support. I mean, even if he received their support, I mean, and you get your money and you wasted it on whatever else you're doing, you can get sued and be charged, not even just sued, but arrested for fraud.
That part.
You know, that's why I'm kind of like really surprised why the federal government hasn't gotten involved. Does it really exist as he say it is? Because if you say you raised $15 million and the federal government been hearing all about this, they're going to want to find out what you're doing with the money.
Now, what about this? I mean, I guess for me, I would rather him come out and say, hey, I don't have the money. We just didn't have enough. We didn't raise enough money. I mean, if you know how much money you need, I mean, you just don't hire. You don't hire construction workers or project management firms to come in and manage a project, and you don't have the funds for that project, because people got to get paid. If you have it, you don't even start doing this without knowing the budget that you want to spend on this project.
And, you know, speaking of having a budget for the project and hiring people, let's kind of go back where I had, you know, said he's pro-black, and how he blatantly and deliberately disrespect other races. You know, that's bad business. You know, for a person with a PhD, you know, it is okay for you to be pro-black, but you got to remember, this is a business. Open up a school is a business. you have to remember wherever that school is located, it's just not all blacks. And if you're just trying to only enroll just black students, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble because of diversity, or DEI as that we call it. You're going to get in trouble because you're segregating your school just for only blacks. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are private schools that are majority white, and they make it very expensive for low-income people to afford it. I mean, but you're going to have even government programs to help out with money.
But they're not saying that it's all white, though.
They don't. Exactly, they don't. And that's what I'm saying. It's bad business for someone as himself who brags about being pro-black, and not only being pro-black, but even deliberately just disrespecting and offending other communities like it don't matter.
Right. I mean, but we can also say the president do it all the time.
Well, that's different.
I agree. It's different. It's different, but it's the same. But
it's the same.
At the same time, you have people that's looking up to you, and they're waiting for this school to come into place.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know what type of following that you have now, because again, I stopped following you.
Yeah,
I stopped following you because it's always the same thing. You're jumping on people for the city. You're jumping on even sometimes you jump on our race for the people that we choose to date.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem who you date. They make you happy.
Exactly.
Date whoever makes you happy.
Yeah,
but you're having a problem with just because a black man is dating a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that can be your problem, but keep that problem to yourself.
And his favorite offensive name he loves to give Caucasian women is Snow Bunny. Like, I'm sitting here like, you are disrespecting women, not just the race, but women, period. You got to also remember there are biracial human beings that will still find that offensive. And you're seeking support from your own people because you're pro-black, and you're just sitting here offending others because you don't like them. You setting yourself up for failure.
Now, do you think that he really isn't getting the money? That he really didn't get the money? Because
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
I think he got some of the money, but not to the full amount that he was aiming for. And, you know, to kind of stay on the target, you know, this conversation, I mean, recently there were rumors that his account, well, actually, I'm going to say rumors because he actually said it live on his Instagram video, where his account was frozen. His bank account was frozen. And it put him in a position of asking people to donate money through his PayPal account. Now, I'm going to go a little street hood on y'all for a second.
Not street hood.
When you come tell me your account's frozen and you want me to donate money through your PayPal or your account, when you come and tell me, when you say this statement, hey, let me hold something for a minute, I got to take care of some business, I got to, do this or do that. When you say, let me hold something, oh, no. I'm not going to do it.
You ain't going to let me hold that?
No. Mm-mm.
Because so that's what he said. That's how he said. He said, let me hold something.
He said, let me, what's his exact quote? He's like, let me hold a few dollars. Let me hold a few dollars. Something like that. Let me hold a few dollars.
So basically, we can say that he talks more than what he delivers.
Correct. Dr. Umar, if you're watching this, myself personally, I'm not here to offend you or disrespect you. It is just the fact that the way you present yourself, it is unprofessional. It is, it's just not right. You come to me and you saying, let me hold a few dollars. Let me hold a few dollars. What you doing that few dollars? That's the question.
Well, what did you do with okay, your bank account was frozen. Let's get to that part. Why was your bank account frozen, sir?
See, that we don't know.
But yet you want to build a school, but your bank account is frozen. So why would anybody want to work with you and your bank account frozen because they can't get paid.
Can't get paid. And my next question, I was wondering, is this a personal bank account or is it a business? Because if you open up a school, that's supposed to be under a business account.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So, I just want to see the school.
I do too.
I've been waiting on this school because, I mean, the way that he made this school sound was like it's going to be, I mean, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. He was going to teach kids about the real history of black people. That sounds amazing because, number one, we need our history taught in these schools. But then when you get everybody's hopes up, they donate, your account frozen, and you can't use the money. Are you really getting the money? Are you really saying that your account frozen, or have you spent the money on a snow bunny?
Mm-hmm. And let me hold a few dollars. I got to take care of my mama queen. I'm like, huh? You want me to pay your bills? I thought the money that we donate was going to the school, but to your personal account for you to take care of your personal bills. Don't think twice about that, brother.
Now we just discussed 3 different topics related to leadership, and went from the leadership on a high level, state level, to even a lower level when it comes to community.
Yeah.
Now, with that, do you feel like we hold these positions of leaders to a higher expectation and we forget that they're human as well?
Yes and no. And since we're talking about those 3 different levels, let's start from the state level, the community level. So with community level, you're going to have your community leaders, are mostly doing it by volunteering. You have some community leaders that are positioned based on elections as well. But the ones you're doing by volunteering, you're going to rely on donations. But those donations are not for personal usage. That donation is for that organization to keep it operating. When I was with the North Fulton County leadership class, we were covering about community leadership, of how those type of funds that are going to nonprofit organizations, they rely on that money in order to keep their operation running. That includes with payroll, that includes with other finances to take care of the building when it comes to rent, maintenance, all of that comes from your donations. But you don't see those organizations just on social media blatantly disrespecting people that they don't like, and don't realize that stuff is recorded. It's being seen and heard.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it really concerns me. Now, on the state level, you have, well, actually, not just state level, even municipal and state level, all of those are strictly by electoral vote, not electoral, by elections. And you have, your money comes from the taxpayers. And when that money comes from the taxpayers, those taxpayers / citizens and voters, they expect you at a higher standard to do what you're supposed to do. And that goes the same for the executive level. You're getting paid not only by your donors, but you're getting paid by your voters, your citizens, your taxpayers, through our paychecks. Everything we buy that we pay taxes on, it goes to you. And we expect you to do what you're supposed to do in that leadership position. We chose you to represent us, to make sure we are well taken care of.
Exactly. You couldn't have put it no better than that. So in the instance of all 3 of these cases, leaders, if you're going to deem yourself to be a leader and put yourself in these leadership positions, you have to be true to what you're saying you're going to do. And you have to be what's the word I'm looking for? You really have to be an open book when it comes to what are you doing with this money? Are you really getting this money? Are you really spending it on what you're supposed to be spending it on? Are you really helping us as a whole, as a people, as a whole, as the United States as a whole? Or are you really trying to just help your billionaire friends? We talk about you making America great again. That is the most, I can't see where you're making it better again, making it great again, because you're making it great for yourself. Yeah.
I've always defined it as they want to go back to the 1930s and 40s type of atmosphere where they had more freedom to do whatever they want, no matter who you were. I mean, even if you were a low income white citizen, you still had more privilege than a rich black person.
So the question is going to be, well, you know, before I say that, well, a rich black person, well, you know, per the Constitution, we're only a third of a man anyway.
That's what we were taught. And speaking about that, I'm glad you brought that up. I, to this day, still trying to find out if that still exists, and I cannot find it nowhere online because they, what made me started researching on that, and I kind of got my stuff out there was, okay, whenever we have elections and you look at the numbers on the screens, when you live in a state that's over 2-3 million people, and you only see, say, 500-something thousand voters, it's not adding up right to me. And then we look at a county, that's just municipal. You're looking at a county, and you see like 1-point-something million votes. I'm sitting like, okay, it's not adding up right. So my question is, are we still classified of that fraction of a human being?
Exactly. Now, to get to the point that I was getting ready to say before I thought about that little part, with the leaders that we have in office now, looking at the three situations, with those leaders that are there, that the governor, let's just take the governor of Texas, Dr. Umar and his academy, and president that we have right now, you kind of see a lot of similarities in each one of those and what they're doing. Arrogant.
Prideful.
Mm-hmm. Everything has to be about them.
Mm-hmm.
So are they really working in the best interest for themselves? Are they working in the best interest of everybody that they say they're working in the best interest of? Or are they working for the best interest of themselves when it all boils down to it? Mm-hmm. Because you can be confident, but confidence is different from being arrogant and being
totally
prideful.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I can't really say anything for those three gentlemen, but in my mindset or my mentality is thinking, okay, I'm in this position. Yeah, I made it through election, but I'm in a high position. I'm powerful. I'm unstoppable. But what you're forgetting is you didn't put yourself in that seat. So you can lose that position quickly when you get too high-minded.
Exactly.
You can. It don't matter if it's an election or not. You can get high-minded. And how I know? Oh, I used to be on the HOA board. We had a board member just joined. No more, not even a year yet. He was already kind of cocky, thinking he can do whatever he wants, walking around the neighborhood, checking out everybody's cars. Are you a resident? Nope. Sticker this. Car getting towed because you're doing a volunteer work. Wow. You're not even getting paid, and you already feeling you're high and mighty.
That's crazy.
So yes, it don't matter if you're elected or not. You feel like you are worth more than what you are when you're in a position that has a title that has power in the definition of it.
Yeah. Now, with that, how do you think all of this is going to play out? What do you think? How do you think it's going to play out? Like I said, because I've given my thoughts on how I feel like it's going to go as far as him putting himself in that, locking himself up in the White House and not coming out because he has all these, he's going to be himself as a king.
It really depends how Texas turns out. It really depends, because I was questioning and just thinking and asking myself, okay, if they are not listening to us when we are marching, when we are protesting, when we are signing, what they call those things? I'm about to call it something else. When you sign those documents to say you're against something and yet they still ignore it. My question is, do we really matter to you? Are we just a number? Because if you're ignoring people practicing their rights and you still disrespecting and going against what they're fighting for, then yeah, we're nothing. So what I think if Texas turns out right and it comes out successful, it's going to start going down, drizzling down to every other state. The California thing, it has gone to a higher level. That's why the media is keeping it quiet as they can, and a lot of people don't know that they're still protesting, having marches all around California. But now back to the DC part, what he's doing now, if that works out, every other state gonna do the same thing.
Dr. Umar.
Dr.
How
Umar?
you think that's gonna play out?
It's not.
You think it's over?
It's done.
It's a done deal.
It's just
No school?
entertainment. It's just entertainment.
We're not gonna get
because
school.
he don't have the money to pay what is due. And the building is already up for auction. And I was even thinking while you was talking earlier, the fact he don't have a business account or whatever account he has, everything he does is not accessible to open to the public. But when it comes to the property that he bought, that's open to the public. We can really see what you owe. But everything else, where your money that you get from your donations, we can't get access to none of those kind of reports. But if it was a business or a corporation, that's easy open access to get.
Yeah, we can get it, access to
you can get that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, now, Dr. Umar, I think that's done. I think people are really realizing that we're not here to baby you. We're not here to pay your bills. We got our own responsibilities to take care of.
And in these times, as tough as it is out here, we're hoping and praying that things get better, not just for us, but for everyone.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree.
So, with that, do you have any final thoughts?
My final thoughts is, for everyone just to continue to stay up to date of what's going on around you. Your community, your city, your state, your county. Just make sure you stay up to date on what's going on so you can kind of be prepared for whatever happens.
All right. And my final thoughts is, I'm going to piggyback off him. Just, keep yourself aware. Stay aware. Do whatever you can to make sure that your life is getting better. And with that, we want to thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you next time for another show of Talk Show Kings. And y'all have a good day.
Tune in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.